And I hope you're enjoying the music by Jed Marham and Ricky Pittman. They come all the way in from Texas, you guys. They seriously drive all the way from Texas to join us for this event. And they have written numerous songs on the Battle of Okeechobee and the Seminole Wars. So you may want to check some of their music out. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to introduce our officials and dignitaries who've been so dedicated and supportive, and without the support, the many visions and goals would never have been realized. In addition to being our officials and dignitaries, they're leaders. They are true leaders, and we are blessed and honored to have them here with us today. In 2013, the Battlefield Friends approached State Representative Carrie Pigman regarding getting the park open to the public and the journey that had been traveled to get to this point. Representative Pigman took our request to heart, and he, together with Senator Denise Grimsley, they secured funding to get the park open. He told us at that time that he was committed to bring it home, and indeed he did. He has brought it home. So we're so thankful for that. Yeah. Let's hear it. So it is my honor to introduce State Representative Carrie Pigman, who is a U.S. Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonel and has deployed numerous times in service to his country. And he is the recipient of numerous awards and medals. Please join me in welcoming State Representative Carrie Pigman.
Hello, and thank you all. You know, when they approached me with this idea, this concept, I thought this is a wonderful thing. This is heritage. This is the kind of history, living history, that really makes a difference. I'm also happy to point out I'm here this year with my 5th grade school teacher, Miss Charlotte Campbell from Ohio, and she made an important observation while we were walking through the campsites. When you think about history and you're a kid, you read it in a book, it sticks, maybe it stays, maybe it doesn't, it goes away. But when you can meld that history lesson in with a reenactment like this, a real experience, it's something that becomes indelible for that child. So it's the kind of thing we need to work towards. If you look over here to my left, your right, we're doing the improvements to the park. That's ongoing. We still got a lot of work to do. But with my district secretary assistants, Libby Maxwell, we found some funding, and we're moving ahead with it. So I want you all to enjoy yourself today and learn something. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we are so thankful. The vision and the goal to get this park open to the public, for folks to come out here and to experience and learn about the history of this battlefield park has truly been a journey, and we are so truly grateful that we are here. Thank you. It is now my honor to recognize First Sergeant Slingerland of the Seminole Battalion, 2nd 124th Infantry Regiment, Florida National Guard. First Sergeant has served his country in Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, and Bosnia. We are honored to have his and the presence and participation of the Seminole Battalion at our annual event. We are truly grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Tribe of Florida, Brighton Council Representative Andrew Bowers. Councilman Bowers is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and has served his country in Vietnam. He has been very committed to the Okeechobee battlefield and the annual reenactments. His presence and support have been invaluable to these goals and visions being realized. It is now my honor to introduce Councilman Bowers.
Thank you. Good afternoon. All you veterans out there, raise your hand. Hats off to you. Who's here for the first time? All right. This is all for you. It is a privilege to represent the Seminole tribe at this event. When I'm asked to speak, I usually say, what am I supposed to say? But when I get up here, I usually find something to say. But I just want to say thank you, veterans, for being here. All you folks here for the first time. And if you're here for the second, third, fourth time, plan on coming back again. We like having you. And thank you for coming. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Bowers. Thank you. I'd like to recognize at this time Chief Justice Willie Johns, Seminole Tribe of Florida, who is also on the board of the Okeechobee Battlefield Friends, as well as many boards throughout the state and country. Thank you, Chief Justice, for your commitment and your dedication. I'd like to also recognize Chief Judge Moses Osceola, Seminole Tribe of Florida, who is also very committed and dedicated to the Okeechobee Battlefield. And every year, Chief Judge Moses Osceola donates to us a beautiful Seminole jacket for our raffle and a lady's purse. And we want to thank him for his commitment and his dedication also. Thank you, Chief Judge. It is my honor now to introduce Okeechobee County Sheriff Paul May. Sheriff May is a U.S. Air Force veteran and has 50-plus years in law enforcement. He is very dedicated to the Okeechobee battlefield, and we are truly grateful to have his support. Sheriff May.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. I tell people every year, and I think it's right to say this same thing again. If you're from Okeechobee County, thank you for coming out here and visiting with us today. If you're from out of the county or out of the state, it is our honor to have you here today. This is the only day of the year that I can watch people shoot themselves, and I don't have a lot of headache and paperwork, so I'm going to enjoy it. On a very, very serious note, she introduced the first sergeant of the National Guard a while ago. This squadron has been notified. They don't know exactly where, and they don't know exactly when, but they are going to be deployed, and with what's going on in our world today, we can probably guess close to where. So if you see one of them, just reach out and shake their hands. They don't ask for much. So just tell them how much you appreciate them. And thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you, Sheriff May. Thank you. We have some city officials here with us also who are actually on our battlefield board, and we're so blessed. And as you guys can see, the outpouring of support from our officials and our dignitaries and our leaders, everything that you see and everything that you're looking at, it could never, ever have happened without the great outpouring of support, and we're so grateful for that. We have Gary Ritter, City Councilman, Okeechobee, who is on our board. Gary, thank you. Dowling Watford is also a City Councilman. He's out here reenacting, and you'll see him. He gets shot and goes down and comes back up, and goes down and comes back up, so you'll see him out there, I'm sure. Thank you. Are there any other officials here at this time that I may have missed? Okay. I'd like to recognize Evan Hall. He's the park manager of Kissimmee Prairie Preserve and the Okeechobee Battlefield. Evan and his staff, they've just been so awesome in how they've been out here preparing the grounds, and it looks so good, and we just want to thank you, Evan, and your staff. You guys are wonderful. Private First Class Bush in the Florida National Guard for 2 years. Private First Class Hilaire in the Florida National Guard for 2 years. Private First Class Mraz in the Florida National Guard for 2 years. The Seminole Tribe of Florida, John Huff Sr., U.S. Army, 1968-1969, served his country in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive.
This one. Here we go. We hope that you'll join us in singing the song.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We are honored to have the presence and participation of the Florida National Guard's Seminole Battalion and John Huff Sr., Seminole Tribe of Florida veteran. The Florida National Guard Seminole Battalion have support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. Elements of the battalion have deployed 6 times in support of the global war on terrorism. Currently, the battalion has been alerted and is training in preparation for an upcoming deployment. Would all of our veterans, would you please stand? We thank you for your service and sacrifice to this great country, the United States of America. We honor you. May God bless you always. Thank you to all of our veterans. You are all America's finest. God bless America. Thank you. You see, it's a great event, and we're so thankful that there is such a powerful purpose. Thank you all so much. Okay. We are getting ready to go into battle time. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce the Honorable Moses Jumper, also known as Big Shot, as he reads one of the many powerful poems he has written. Be prepared to be moved by the passion and strength that is exhibited through his poetry. Big Shot, where are you all? Here he comes. Here he comes. Okay. Like I said, be prepared to be moved by one of his poems. They are so powerful and just filled with passion, with strength.
First of all, on behalf of the Seminole Tribe of Florida, my name is Moses Jumper. I'm a member of the Snake Clan of the Seminole Tribe. We consist of about 8 clans that make up our tribe. And I just want to say welcome here today. It's a momentous day or historical day. And I know they've talked a lot about the warriors that have fought in the past world wars for the United States. But a lot goes into some of the things that are spoken about our own warriors that have fought, and they fought for our freedom also. That's why we're called the Unconquered Seminoles. And I just want to say that my father, Moses Jumper Sr., he fought in World War II. He was in the Navy. He was on the Pacific. And my uncle, Howard Tiger, he fought for the Marines on Iwo Jima. So we heard that. We're very proud of those 2 individuals. Of course, they're gone now. But I always like to do a lot of the functions concerning our veterans because of the things that they did. And I always considered myself, that I'm proud to be a Seminole, son of a Seminole vet. And they were the first 2 first two Seminoles to join the military. And they served gallantly. And we're the Seminole Tribe are very proud of them. They've been, have had awards given to them throughout the years. And like I said, they're no longer here. But on their behalf, I always like to be a part of some of these Veterans Day celebrations. And so today, I do want to share with you some things maybe you don't see in the history books about the Seminoles. And of course, you know the Seminole Wars during the 1800s. And there was a lot of battles fought, and today this is one of the battles that you're going to see a reenactment of. And in some instances, you'll see some things that, you know, that there was more warriors, more soldiers at that particular time, but this is a reenactment of that. And a lot of the things that were going on is that, you know, the Seminoles were up in central, northern Florida, but slowly they had to come, make their way back down toward the southern part of Florida. And of course, many lived around the lake. And my mother, Betty May Jumper, she was the first lady to serve as a chairman of the Seminoles, or any tribe for that matter, in this area. And so she lived right up the road there in Indian Town. She was raised in that area. So my family is from that area, known as Indian Town. And so they went on down into the southern part. But what many don't know, that a lot of things went on, you know, as far as some of the warriors and some of the things that went on. And of course, we've heard of great Osceola and Wildcat, and of course, you know, we've heard of Jumper. So these are some of the men that were known for their fighting. But there was another individual that probably is not very known, and you don't hear about him much in the history books. But the whites called him Sam Jones. He was known as Abiaka, and he was probably instrumental in most of these battles, and perhaps was in this one also. But he kind of stayed in the background. He was kind of one of the elders, and he's known to have finished his life down in the Big Cypress area. Of course, there's an area there called Devil's Garden. They called him the Devil, and so there was a lot of things that went on in that area there that happened. But that's why they called him the Devil, because of some of the things that he was able to do, you know, and not be caught, or no one never found out much about him. But I want to share a poem that I think he probably would have said, you know, to his warriors, maybe before the night of battles that took place throughout the state of Florida. I'd like to invite you up to the Big Cypress Shootout, which will be held here in a few weeks up in the Big Cypress Reservation. So you're all invited to be there for that one. And just recently we finished up our tribal fair in the Hollywood Reservation, and we finished up our fair in Big Brighton with the Brighton Field Day and Rodeo. So I hope you were able to make some of those. But this poem I want to share with you, I wrote it, and I write poems, and I have a couple books out that share some of the native poems that I write. So this poem here I want to share with you today that I wrote concerning you know, this battle, and maybe what Abiaka or Sam Jones might have told his warriors on that night. Just like Abiaka, I'm getting old, I had to use these glasses here. All right, it goes like this. He says, his voice could be heard echoing deep to the night. The man spoke of treaties, removal. What gave them the right? Our families have run from the country of red clay. This evil man Jackson told us we would die if we did not go away. They tell of a land where the elders have died. We must honor them, or else we have lied. I see the fear in our leaders who are ready to sign and take flight. They feel our way of life is not worth the fight. My time on this earth I know will be few, and perhaps to some they feel my foolishness I never outgrew. Yes, I am, and my spirit is strong inside. I know the cost will be great. We must never lose our pride. We must keep this land for the generation who follow our path in the coming years. Fight hard. We must never go on that trail of tears. Our cattle and horses they have stole and taken our lands. They have put shackles and chains on our black brothers' legs and hands. They have burned our gardens and have caused our family to run and hide. Our children are hungry, our homes destroyed. What evil these people must feel inside. We can no longer run, for there's no place to go. We must persevere, for we are Seminole. They have their guns, and so do we. They fight for greed. We fight to be free. My brothers, don't sell your soul and run like the deer. The breath giver will take away your fear. I stand here demanding and warning you of this plight. I am Abiaka, who for my land and people I will choose to fight.